The base model Silverado is cheaper than dirt cheap. I'll include a link to the Chevy and Murray's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this truck. Let's get right into it. This week's giveaway highlight is a super low mileage manual Ford GT. If you're interested, use code BHC or click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. This will give you 4x bonus entries on any donation, $25 or more. Under the hood is a turbo 2.7 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed, fuel economy 17 around town, 21 on the highway, with power outputs being 310 horsepower and then 430 pound-feet of torque. We're closing in on 500,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. So with the work truck, you can still get it in nice colors like this metallic gray. You are going to be limited to the baseline lights from my knowledge. Of course, you got lots of plastic on the front end, but you do have recovery points there at the bottom. So for a work truck, this actually doesn't look bad at all. Now, tire and wheel setup is 265 by 70 by 17. You've got a more basic design on the wheels. Silverado badge there, and then the mirror caps and the door handles are unpainted. Leaf springs in the back, solid rear axle, independent front suspension, by the way. When it comes to the cab, this has the smaller cab and then the longer bed. This really does not have a lot with the key fob. You have your lock and unlock, Chevy bow tie, that's it. Now, popping into the bed, the tailgate is not dampened, so make sure you use your arm a little bit. Do have some protection here on the tailgate. Other than that, there's nothing else in the bed. There are some cargo tie-down points, but yeah, no bed liner, no LED bed lights, no outlet. It's base. And easy peasy. Baseline taillights. We've got the bumper steps here, and then you can see the bumpers painted a different color, and it is actually painted. Wow. Well, kind of. The more that I look at it, the more it looks powder coated, kind of. Anyways, that's the exterior. Let's now check out the interior. More basic trim here on the door panel itself, a little bit of storage down below. Cloth seats with this package, 60-40 split with the seats, under seat storage, and you notice, easy to clean floors. Legroom in the back is good. We also have vents here in the rear, fixed glass in the back, and then headroom is really good. No keyless entry or anything up front, and let's check it out. The mirrors are manual with the adjustment. When's the last time you saw that? But at least it does have power windows, and the driver window is automatic. You got all your window controls right there. And then again, more basic trim. $19.55 for the payload capacity, $9,000 for the towing. You can see cloth seats here with the truck, manual with the adjustment. This does have a tow mode, and then you've got a part-time four-wheel drive system with auto and high. It has like this kind of off-road assist, but yeah, no four-wheel drive low on this one, and then light controls are just below that. Steering wheel is a little bit more basic with the trim. You do have your cruise control, little windshield wiper stalk there, column shifter here on the back, plus and minus, so you can shift the gears yourself. But yeah, it's not going to have a lot. And that means the gauge cluster is mostly analog. You do have a little screen which you can actually twist this. Look how old school this is, to go through the different menus with the screen. Backup camera in reverse. It actually has pretty good resolution and even trailer mode there. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, is it going to pop up? There we go. It's a little touchscreen. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for now. Apparently GM's getting rid of that in the future, but they have it for now. Analog controls for the radio, also shortcut buttons for the screen, single zone climate with this. We also have for the stability, hazard lights, auto stop start, lane departure, trailer brake controls, and then some little charge ports. Again, easy to clean floors. Storage up top with a 12 volt. Nice trim, cup holders, folds up to be a seat. And then there is more storage at the bottom. So lots of storage. 2 glove box lids. The bottom one is lockable. And of course, no controls up top because again, no sunroof, no power sliding window. 2026 1500 work truck, $46,725. Let's see how this performs. Well, let's set off in the base model truck that's still almost $50,000. I mean, this is a big chunk of change. I mean, who's gonna buy this? Because realistically, to afford a $46,000 vehicle, if you're not being crazy with your money, you're gonna want to make at least twice that much, maybe even more. And you know, someone who's making $90,000, over $100,000 per year, are they gonna want a basic bare bones vehicle? Like, man, car prices nowadays, they're just crazy. Now, obviously, you know, there's a lot of wheeling and dealing to be had. So it's like, is it really going to go for the $46,000 MSRP? No, probably not. But still, I mean, that's what Chevy thinks it's worth, right? That's why it's called the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Crazy world we live in. And crazy how basic this actually is. Now the Turbo Max, it's got some power. It's actually not bad at all. It's pretty peppy. It's got good low end torque. The top end is not going to be super strong. Again, it's just a 4-cylinder. So, and it's only got 310 horsepower. So it's not going to have a crazy good top end. You're not going to have a ton of passing power, but it's got a good low end. So you kind of drive this truck more like you drive a diesel rather than a gas engine. And that's one good way to look at it. Suspension's comfortable. Again, the new Silverado drives nice, even though it's got leaf springs. Still pretty comfortable over all the bumps. Pretty quiet. This doesn't have acoustic glass or anything like that. You wouldn't expect it at this price point. Actually, Ram's kind of putting, I think they're putting it in their base model if I remember right. But yeah, it's smooth. It's pretty quiet. Except for when you put your foot into the pedal. This turbo engine's kind of rowdy. And you get, yeah, wind noise. Notice it. Trucks sit pretty high, right? So trucks without acoustic glass can be pretty, they're not the noisiest, but they can be pretty noisy with wind noise. But then you don't get as much tire noise because you're so far up from the actual tires themselves. Man, this is nice. And this is comfortable. I like how this truck drives. It's just crazy how expensive it is. I mean, you guys don't have to comment this because this is a little bit personal, but how many of you make less than, or how many of you make $50,000 or less per year? I bet it's a good chunk of you guys watching this video. Because when I sold cars, I mean, almost every single person that came into the dealership made between like $30,000 to $60,000 per year. So I just don't know how this is going to continue to be sustainable with vehicles being this expensive. And, you know, when it's a more loaded up vehicle, it still is like, because they're even more expensive, but it's just kind of like, oh, I guess, you know, this is what rich people want. But when you see stuff like this is supposed to be for, you know, the average Joe. That is a weird house that's for sale. Huh. Anyways, this is supposed to be for the average Joe. And how is the average Joe supposed to afford this other than taking out a 50-year loan at a 30% interest rate, and then, you know, the vehicle blows up before the loan ends because it's got a turbo 4-cylinder. And this engine's actually pretty reliable from what people told me. It has some issues, but it's pretty good, so. I digress. I think this is pretty solid spec-wise for a little work truck. I just don't understand the pricing with these full-size pickup trucks. Make it make sense. Let me know what you guys think this is actually worth. That it's all like, and that's the thing, is automakers can be like, ah, whatever, that's what people are saying. They don't know, they, you know. But at the same time, it's like, that's what people are willing to pay for your product. And, you know, the automakers will say that they're still selling cars, but, you know, only kind of, because the auto industry is selling like 2.5–3 million fewer cars per year right now. So that means there's a lot of buyers that have been lost because of these crazy prices. But that's the work truck.